Hi friends, this is Professor Kartik. You are watching me on YouTube. So in the very first lecture of our series Engineering and Graphics and Design, we are going to see the basic introductions of our subject Engineering, Graphics and Design. So first thing or first questions that comes in your mind, sir, why this subject is introduced in first year? Lots of students, some students have a misconception like, the students of computer and IT departments, they have a misconception like, sir, this is a subject of mechanical engineering or automobile engineering. What we have to do with this subject? No, it's not like that. Engineering, Graphics and Design is a universal subject. Whether you are from GTU or whether you are from any other universities of India or of abroad university, the first years engineering students must have this subject called Engineering, Graphics and Drawing. In some university it is also known as Engineering Drawing, and in some university it is also called as Engineering Graphics. So it doesn't matter. In short, we are going to say it EGD, Engineering Graphics and Drawing, or you can say Engineering Drawing, or you can say Engineering Graphics. So what is this all about? So in Engineering Graphics and Drawing, you are going to draw a different thing. Like you are going to draw a projection of points, you are going to draw a projection of lines, you are going to draw a projection of plane, a 2D geometry. Then you are going to draw a projection of solid, a 3D geometry. Then you are going to do orthographic projection, means you are having a 3D object and you are converting into the 2D drawing. And you want to do isometric projections. So in isometric projections, you have a 2D drawing with you, and from using that 2D drawing, you are going to create 3D drawing. So these are some basic things which you are going to deal in this subject. So first thing, why this subject is introduced and what we have to do with this subject. So engineering graphics is a universal language of engineers. If you don't know engineering graphics, you don't know anything. Okay, so engineering graphics is a universal language of engineers. Why it is universal language of engineers? Let's take an example. Let's say you are from India and you know only Hindi and English, and now you are going to China. So some person in China is over there, and what you want to do? You are going to say this Chinese person that I want to manufacture, let's say this square. Now when you are going to give the manufacturing of this square, and you are going to this company, let me manufacture this 3D object over here. But you are going to see that if you are going to tell them that manufacture this square, but of which size? So you have to mention some dimensions over there. Let's say it is, this dimensioning is 30 mm and this dimensioning is 20 mm. So now it's a square of 30 by 20 mm. And now you are going to that Chinese person. Now you know only Hindi and English, and Chinese person only know Chinese language. So you are not going to communicate with verbal language. But instead of that, you are going with that Chinese person with simple drawing of this square in one drawing sheet, and you will just show them this square of size 30 by 20 mm. And without using language, that Chinese person will interpret that this person is come to me for the purpose of manufacturing a square of 30 by 20 mm. Why? Because he interprets this design. So that's why the persons which you are from India, you know only Hindi, and the Chinese person only know Chinese language. But without understanding each other's language, he just interprets this design. And using this design, he manufacture the exact square that you required, So that's why, some design is a communications. You must understand what design is trying to say you. Let's say you are engineer in some reputed company, and you are going to Europe, and you don't know how to speak English. But you are having a design, this kind of design with you, and you are going to just show them to their manufacturing department. That persons, without knowing your language, gonna manufacture this product. So that's why it is very necessary for engineers to interpret a design data which presents in a drawing sheet. So that's why even though you don't know the language, but as an engineer, you must know how to interpret the drawing, the engineering drawing. So that's why the engineering graphics is a universal language of engineer. In short, there is a saying in engineering graphics The point is an alphabet, line is a word, plane is a sentence, and solid is a paragraph. So that's why engineering graphics is universal language of engineers. Whether you are computer engineer, whether you are IT, whether you are mechanical engineer, whether you are civil engineer, it is very necessary. Even if you are in soft field, let's say you are having some idea, or you have some idea in your mind and you want to put it in a word. At that time, you require a knowledge of how to draw that particular idea in the paper sheet as a engineering terminology. Okay, so that's why whether you are from any branch, it is very necessary that you must have a knowledge of engineering graphics. So this is just a basic. So we have covered what is engineering graphics and drawing, why it is necessary to study this engineering graphics and drawing subject. Now let's come on to what are the instruments you require as a student to study this subject. So this is very important instrument. Just write it down in your paper and purchase it. Okay. So first instrument you require is a pencil. So pencil, you require two type of pencil. One 2H grade and another is HB grade. So 2H grade pencil you require for drawing thin line, and HB grade pencil you require for drawing thick line and for dimensioning purpose. Second instrument you require is eraser. Third, sharpener. Fourth, divider. Fifth, roller scale of 30 centimeter size. Okay. So if you purchase a roller scale, you don't require to purchase a scale separately. Roller scale is more than sufficient. Then you require divider. After that, you require set square of 36 degree set square and another 45 degree set square. Okay. Then you require protractor for measuring angle. Then you require drawing board for drawing, and you require sketchbook. But mind you, don't purchase a small sketchbook. Purchase a maximum size of sketchbook as much as you have it. Okay, so go to a stationery and purchase a sketchbook of big size. If you're gonna go stationery and purchase a small size of sketchbook, your drawing is not going to come that in sketchbook. So always important, purchase a sketchbook of big size. Okay, done. So these are the instruments and these are the accessories that you must have for studying engineering drawing. So now we will start our very first topic of engineering graphics and design, that is different types of line in engineering drawing. So first line is called continuous thick line. So here you can see that this is continuous thick line. This line is used for visible outline. Visible outline means that, let's say you can see this duster by your naked eyes. Okay, so if you see this duster from a front, it's gonna look like a rectangle. So if I'm gonna draw, it's gonna be look like one rectangle. So this is the outer line of the rectangle. So this outer line of the rectangle must be a continuous thick line. So that's why this continuous thick line, you can see that this continuous thick line is used for visible outline. So for any outer boundary of any object, you have to use this continuous thick line. Okay, for continuous thick, you can use a HP grade pencil line. So whenever I say thick line, you have to use HB line. And this is darker line. Continuous thick line means darker line. And whenever I say thin line, you have to draw that line with 2H pencil, means it is light line, light line. Okay, so this is thin line. So now continuous thin line. Continuous thin line is used for dimensioning, extension and projection line. Let's say this is a rectangle and I want to give it a dimension. So I have to give the dimension like this. So you can see that the line here I am using for the dimensioning. Let's say this is 30 mm. So here this line which I have used for dimensioning is continuous thin line. So it is light in nature. Continuous thick line is a darker line, whereas continuous thin line is a light in nature. So it must be a light. So you have to draw it with a very soft hand. So for dimensioning, you use continuous thin line. Let's say projections. So if you take the projection of this rectangle like this, in downward direction like this, so this line which you are drawing over here, this projection must be a thin line. So it is used for dimension, it is used for extension line, and this is used for projections line. So continuous thick line is a darker line, whereas continuous thin line is a very light in nature. So you have to draw it with a soft hand. Okay. Now the third line is called dash, medium thick line, or it is also known as hidden line. So you can see the dash, 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 dash over here. So it is known as hidden line. Why hidden line used? So let's say you are having a mobile with you. Let's say like this. Let me give this example. This is a mobile. Like you are going to see it from the front view, and there is a back camera over here. This is, you can see the camera in mobile. But when you see it from the front, you cannot just see the camera, which is the rear side of this mobile. So if I want to show the camera over here, drawing of camera over here, I will show the if I want to show the picture of mobile over here, I will show camera like this by dotted line, by hidden line like this. So here you can say that I have shown some hidden line over here. So what you will interpret? So when you're looking at it from the front, you got to know that there is some hidden thing which I cannot see it from the front, but on the rear side there is some hidden thing over here. So showing the hidden things, we use this hidden line, or it is also known as dash medium thick line. Okay. Now next thing is chain thin line. Chain thin line is like this: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, short line, big line. So you have to start with the big line and you have to end with the big line. So this line is known as a center line. So to show the center line or to show the symmetry, we will use chain thin line. Let's say this rectangle, we are having this rectangle with us, and let's say this rectangle is symmetric. To show the symmetricity of this rectangle, we will use this line: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, short line, big line. So it will show the symmetricity. Let's say, so what it show? Whatever the shape is over on this side, the same shape will be on this side. So it will use for showing the symmetricity. Also it is used for showing the center line. So let's say this, we are having a one circle over here, and to show the center of circle, we're going to use this chain thin line, or you're going to say center line like this: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, short line, big line. Same way here: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, short line, big line. So this is used for showing the center. That's why it is also known as center line, and also it is used for showing the symmetricity. So it is known as chain thin line: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, short line, big line. So it start with the big line and end with the big line. This big line both must have the same dimension. Okay, so remember that. Now chain thin and thick at end only. So you can see that this line and this both are same. The only difference is the starting big line is darker and ending big line is darker. So that's why it is known as chain thin and thick at ends only. So it is used for showing the cutting plane. Let's say we are having one cone. So let me draw one cone over here. Let's say this is one cone. So I am going to cut this cone like this way. So if I want to show the cutting of this cone, so I'm gonna show this same line over here like this: big line, short line, big line, short line, big line, and starting big line and ending big line must be dark. So what we'll conclude from here, that this is the cone and this is a cutting line. So from here, this cone is going to be a cut. So chain thin and thick at end only. So it is used for showing a cutting plane. Okay. And the last thing is continuous thin and arrowhead at both the ends. So this is known as dimension line. So you can say that this is continuous thin, and at the end you can see that this is the arrowhead. So this is known as dimension line. This vertical line, you can see it is known as extension line over here. So this is dimension line. It is used for showing a dimension of particular object. So let's say that we are having one rectangle with us. So let me draw one rectangle. So this is a rectangle. We are having one rectangle, and I want to show the dimension. So how to show the dimension? So first, if I want to show this size, first I will draw extension from here and extension line from here. An extension line we draw with this line, continuous thin line, because here you can say that extension line is drawn by continuous thin line. So this much. Then we will draw this line like this, and then we will show arrow at both the ends like this. So it will become dimension line. And now I will show 30. I will write 30 over here. So it is the size of 30 mm. So this is known as dimension line. So continuous thin and arrow at both the ends. So like this, these are the dimension line. So these are the different types of line which we gonna use in our engineering drawing subject. There are also other line here, short break line, long break line, but that I'm not gonna take it over here because this is the most important line. This 6th line is gonna come again and again in every chapter of engineering drawing. So it is very important that you repeat this line, whatever I taught you over here, just repeat it again and again and note down all the instrument over here and go to stationery and buy all the instrument which I have mentioned it over here. In the next video, we're gonna see the different types of dimensioning method in engineering drawing. So have a nice day. Bye-bye.